नमस्कार, दिस इज़ मी सान्या राज बैक अगेन। आपके साथ फिर मैं जुड़ी हुई हूँ आज फिर से हम बात करेंगे हमारे प्यारे चहीते सुशांत सिंह राजपूत और उनके साथ-साथ मैं जिया खान और दिशा सालियाल के बारे में भी बात करूँगी कि ये जो सारे बच्चे जो हमारे इस इतने टैलेंटेड लोग जो निकले, जो चले गए बिना कुछ कहते हैं ना कुछ हमें कुछ पता ही नहीं चला क्या हो गया इनके साथ, जो कि हमें अब पता चला है उनके साथ जब वो थे, तब हमें पता नहीं था कि कैसे उनकी ज़िंदगियाँ चल रही थी। बट जब वो चले गए, तब हमारे को बहुत स्टोरीज़ पता चली और उसी बातों को हम बरकरार करके हम आगे बढ़ेंगे और इस मुद्दे को जगा कर रखेंगे। तो इसीलिए आज मैं जुड़ रही हूँ राबिया जी के साथ, जो जिया खान की मदर है। 8 साल से वो इस अ, इससे इस जस्टिस से ये सबसे लड़ाई कर रही हैं, अपनी बेटी की जस्टिस के लिए। वो ट्रुथ के साथ रहना चाहती हैं और वो कह रही हैं सबसे वो सबके सारे प्लेटफ़ॉर्म्स में सब जगह जाकर एक ही उनकी दौड़ है कि मुझे जस्टिस मिले, जो सच है बाहर आए। तो उनको लगता है डिवाइन जस्टिस ज़रूर मिलेगा, बट जो सच है, जो सारे अथॉरिटीज़ हैं, एजेंसीज़ हैं, वो एटलीस्ट सच तो बोले। वो इसी दौड़ में एक माँ अपने बच्चे के लिए लड़ती जा रही हैं 8 साल के लिए और आज हम उनसे जुड़ेंगे और उनसे और बातें करेंगे क्योंकि वो जब अपने दिल की बात रखती हैं, तो उनके पास फैक्ट्स होते हैं। वो इमोशनल ज़रूर हैं, बट फैक्ट्स का ध्यान रखकर वो बात करती हैं। तो हम आज उनसे जुड़ेंगे फिर से और वो अपने दिल की बात रखेंगी और अपने फैक्ट सामने रखेंगी। I'll just invite Rabia ji on the scene. हेलो मैम।
Hello.
कैसी हैं आप? ऑल गुड?
Yes, so far good.
नाइस
In
टू
my own cocoon.
जी, 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 बिल्कुल। मैम हम जुड़ रहे हैं एक्चुअली हमने काफ़ी पीछे से हमने बात करी है और मैं मुद्दे पे आऊँगी कि आप 8 साल से जिया के लिए लड़ रही हैं और हर प्लेटफ़ॉर्म में गई हैं। मुझे ये बताइए मैम क्योंकि हम जब बात कर रहे थे पीछे से, हमने ये बात करी थी जो मुझे बड़ा लगा कि क्योंकि आप अपनी बेटी के लिए तो लड़ ही रही हैं, आप दूसरों के लिए भी आवाज़ है, आपने दिशा के लिए भी लड़ाई आवाज़ आगे बढ़ाई, आपने सुशांत सिंह राजपूत के लिए भी आगे बढ़ाई आवाज़। तो आई वांट टू जस्ट कनेक्ट यू आई विल कनेक्ट यू विद द दिशा विद जियाज केस टू बट आप और मैं जब बात कर रहे थे तो हम बात कर रहे थे कि जो इस केस की जो सुशांत के केस की चार्जशीट ही नहीं लगाई है सीबीआई ने तो उसका थोड़ा सा आप लाइट यू विल कम बैक टू ऑन दैट टॉक कि जो हम बात कर रहे थे कि भाई क्या हो क्या रहा है।
यस देखिए, सुशांत भी एक एक्टर था, जिया भी एक एक्टर थी। तो एक ही फ्रेटर्निटी के मेंबर्स हैं वो लोग। एंड दोनों के ऊपर ये स्कैंडल लगा दिया कि ये डिप्रेस थे और दोनों ही बहुत ही टैलेंटेड और ऐसे बैकग्राउंड से थे कि जहाँ पर इनकी वेल एजुकेशन थी, सिक्योरिटी थी एंड लॉट ऑफ लव एंड लॉट ऑफ कंफर्ट एंड they were very articulated and had future plans, and film was not the only business for them.
Right.
So when it came to you're asking me why my heart goes for Sushant. I'm a mother.
Exactly.
First of all, I'm a mother, and I can feel the pain of other mother. Even I do understand the feeling of criminal's mother. That उनको भी कितना दुख होता होगा ये जान करके उनका बच्चा क्रिमिनल निकल गया है। Do you understand me? हाय उनके बच्चे ने किसी और माँ के बच्चे को मार दिया। ये एक बहुत ही गहरा घनौनी कर्म है किया है और ये आएगा उनके ऊपर। लेकिन कमिंग टू पीड़ा तो पीड़ा होती है ना। अब द पेन दैट आई हैव फॉर माय चाइल्ड, I definitely feel the pain of Sushant's parents, Disha Salian's mother and father. I feel how they are, whether they are supportive or not supportive is a very different issue. But the pain is pain. So if I can accumulate other people's pain, then I am also healing my own pain. It heals me because it's just not my alone pain, it's the other people's pain also. So your shoulders become more broader to carry that pain. So ever since I became very supportive to this, realizing, oh my God, what that family must be going through, because we know what we went through and what we are going through. Because see, grief is not time factor. It's not time bounded ki 3 दिन रहेगा, 4 दिन रहेगा, 3 साल रहेगा. It is, we are frozen. We as victim get frozen, and it's very difficult to move from that dimension and to move on. People may say ki are, now she's gone, will not come back, move on. It's easy. Yes, we are living. Yes, we are living in her beautiful memories, and we get an opportunity to smile also. But everything in the back of it is is our child's memories that is making us live also. She has not said, Mommy, I will go away, you also go away. No, she said she is very much in our spiritual realm, and we hear a conversation, we hear our voices that we have already heard. So now coming to this time when it was a 1 year anniversary of Sushant Singh, I raised this subject. I said, our case went to CBI in 2014, September 2014, and November 2015, CBI had filed the charge sheet. When we received the charge sheet, that was a different story. We saw how much work CBI has done and how much work they have not looked into. So, looking at the charge sheet that they presented, I saw that most 80% was cut and paste from the police's charge sheet. Now, in Sushant Singh case, there has never been a charge sheet. A police never charged anyone, not even an abatement. In Jiah's case, Suraj Pancholi was charged as an accused for abatement to suicide. But he was charged. Now, what happens when in the judiciary system, when the trial goes on, a lot of evidences can be brought during the trial also. Investigation is never stopped. Investigation goes on. Now, the thing is that during that trial and investigation, the case from 306 can turn into 302. And these things have happened. Now, my question is that the corruption is into that height that the prosecution, which is the police who is supposed to collect the evidences, is not taking to the court. So when the evidences don't reach the court, the justice system, the court, the judge who is there to give justice is not looking into evidence because they are not there. So she cannot pass a judgment. She cannot give justice. So on that basis of lack of evidence, the criminals are ready for acquittal. You understand me? So this is their plan, actually. This is the strategy they are moving into. Because in Sushant's case, police has not filed a charge sheet, and CBI has not filed a charge sheet because CBI probably does not have any evidences. And nobody is ready to speak. No witnesses. Witnesses are scared. People in the machinery of law enforcement is scared. Nobody has got guts. So, in my case, many a times I got death threats. Witnesses got death threats. Menaka Harsinghani, who was a witness to many, many things, gave her a statement, was threatened by the police. That now that you are saying this, now you be careful because you don't know what you're getting into. And you live with your mother alone. So she vanished from the radar. So CBI, few things that CBI managed, even when they were trying to interrogate the accused, they were put under pressure told by authorities higher than them that don't touch him and don't interrogate him. The Bollywood icons called them and said, don't, because we are launching him. And my thing is that why did CBI officer not say that you mind your business? Probably the phone call must have been also from a much higher political power. That is why CBI officer could not say, you mind your business and let us do our job. Do you get my point?
Yes.
So in Sushant's case, when there is no evidence given to CBI, What charge sheet are they going to? Because from the charge sheet, then you will know whether CBI is going to the right direction or the wrong direction. Whether what they are saying is right or what they are saying is wrong. So when we received CBI's charge sheet, that also we got it, CBI filed it inconclusive charge sheet in a rush because we gave 4 forensic doctor experts' opinion from all over the world, from India and abroad. Now that exercise, me and my family has done it. Jiah's family did it. In fact, we missed our Christmas doing CBI's job, looking at call logs, looking at CCTVs. So none of the, even in CBI's charge sheet, Jiah's pictures, injury pictures were not added. Jiah's CCTV was not added. So many things, evidences were not added, which we through Supreme Court had to submit it. We had to go from High Court to Supreme Court to trial court. So like that, I was doing a marathon. And it cost money. Every step you are spending money. So what kind of a task you are, Sushant's family is expecting? What kind of a task and expenditure is public expecting? Is public expecting that the government will take out a huge amount of fund and give it to CBI to investigate Sushant Singh case, where great politicians or high end elite uh, uh, criminals are involved? Do you think so? This will happen?
Yeah.
Or is it a public crowd fund that is going to go towards getting justice for Sushant? I think that should be a movement. Get a crowd fund and do it. Then you will have the best of the faces of the lawyers. Because in my case, one of the officer told me, Madam, why don't you get, high-end lawyers like Harish Salve or Tony Jetmalani? I said, I had very high-end faces on the court. In fact, Tony Jetmalani represented me. That is Mahesh Jetmalani, Ram Jetmalani's son, who is a very prominent face in Supreme Court. Right? Mr. Subhash Jha represented me. He's a Supreme Court lawyer. Mr. Salman Khurshid represented me, who was a Congress law minister. He's a advocate. He's a Supreme Court advocate. So it is which face has not represented me in the court. But when the criminals are managing with their high-end influence and with their power of money or status, then even the courts are managed. So I am waiting for that time factor. That's why I'm not stopping. So if you stop, then the game is over. And that is what the criminal's agenda is. That is the strategy, that you should tire them. Now, I suppose, my advice will be that there should be crowd fund given to Sushant's family as a tribute to fight the case and get to justice. Even a 5 rupee from millions of people is worth it.
Absolutely. Ma'am,
This is the message I want to give through your platform to the public, that you are crying and, there is no need to blame game or defame anyone. The main thing is money. If they think that money talks and bullshit walks, so then let's collect crowd fund and give it to the family and to the government or to CBI, that now you investigate. You cannot say that you cannot travel over here, you cannot travel there because there's no lack of funds. You cannot give it to the forensic doctors. You cannot pay that fees because there is lack of funds. So let's not bring lack of fund as an excuse. Let's not give them any excuse of power and money. Then we see, once we place the money, then we see whether the job is done or not. Let us hire the top lawyer. How much our top lawyer will take? 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 50 lakhs? Because I know in previous cases, for 1 hour, 25 lakhs was given and the criminal was acquitted.
You're right. So,
do you understand me? So this is what is happening. I am not going to go into the details of that this has not been done. Why nothing is moving? Either the central government, which is the authority over CBI, either they don't have the funds. In this COVID time, let all the funds go for injections and vaccinations and things like that. So we public, we people who are so sympathetic and who want justice, I think we have got to gather together to raise the voice, to raise the funds, and to tell them that no excuse. Get us the answers. See, justice is a very high end game. I am saying get to the truth, and let public forgive the offender. Let public decide. Let the family of the deceased decide whether they want to forgive the offender or not. But not cherry pick and decide for us, for the victim's family, that no, we don't want to punish them. We have signed an impurity with them.
Very true.
Do you understand my point? So my thing is that judiciary is a machinery, and the machine works with the fuel is money, right? We public have enough power, and we can collect enough money to fight this case.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You gave it a very practical response to this whole thing because, as you said, even it's 5 rupees, we are 1.3 billion people. I mean, we've got it. We've got the and the point is, ma'am, what you're trying to say. But tell me one thing. I want to go back to Jia's case, if you don't mind. 8 years you've been struggling, and you've had one of the best lawyers in the country. Now, where is the position? Where do you stand today with Jia's case, with the kind of struggle you've had?
The funny part of this is, we had been going so long to the court, but unfortunately, as the case went to CBI, and CBI opposing every document that I was representing to the court. So CBI and criminals were in the same boat. Now, what made CBI to be in the same boat? Some political pressure in Maharashtra, which after what happened with Vaze and Parambir Singh is so evident. Nothing is hidden. It is so obvious now that what was happening in my case. I have spilled the beans, and I have spoken my heart out, even on Republic Channel and all different panels and different platforms. And I have not changed my statements, and I have been saying again and again from the day one that my daughter has been killed. And I had told my daughter, warned my daughter to be away from Suraj Pancholi. And that is the time, one of the witness who was there, she's also supposed to be a friend of accuser's father and my friend, said, don't go after the boy. These people are very powerful. They will kill you. Just hold on a minute.
I'm with you.
Right? And the courts were being managed from the back doors. What happens? Why? That only they know. If it is their vested interest. So if CBI was not getting for 8 years the evidence to conclude the report, they filed the report because they wanted the trial to start. But on what basis a trial will start? Trial will start on the basis of evidences. But the evidences has not been collected by police, from the police. There was so much of drama going in within the ligature, which is a dupatta, is in the laboratory, and the laboratory says we gave it to the police, and the police says it is with the laboratory. So it was that ping pong game going on, right? Eventually, 2017, police submitted. CBI did not submit. Police submitted to the court. Now CBI is asking the court, please give it to us. Now we don't know whether it has been submitted or not, or what ligature. Is it the original, or is that because in between it was destroyed and it disappeared, it was lost. So suddenly it appeared. Because why? Because I am putting a lot of pressure. I am asking the court, because I have not stopped it. I have not stopped funding my daughter's case. So there is a very big money involved. There is a huge amount of money that is needed because lawyers, it's their business. They don't have any other business but to attend courts. So they will prepare the case and appear. But then it is a time factor. If which lawyer is doing pro bono? Even if he does pro bono, that means he's taking out money from his pocket. Right? So you have got to be so filthy rich because the criminals have got deep pocket. Yeah. So how is the mere lawyer is going to match the criminal's pocket? So it has to be that public has to do something to raise funds to give it, that no excuses there.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Ma'am,
So
this whole thing.
Coming to my point. So now CBI is asking for for the ligature and two BlackBerry so that they can look into. Jiah was holding Z10, which also tells the precise GPS location. If they have made an excuse, or they were sharing the same tower location, right? Or it was a different tower location, or whatever. What happened in Vaze's case? In Vaze's case, they got all the tower location, they got all the digital. They broke the phone password and got all the messages and every information. But in Jiah's case, the CBI themselves are saying that the forensic is saying we cannot tamper with the password because the accused is not giving the password. And if we will tamper, then we will lose the data. So that means in that phone, the data are still there. The information is still there. So when it suits them, as I'm telling you, they cherry pick. When it suits them, they will have every expert to look into the matter, every forensic to look and open and get to the bottom of the story. But Sushant and Jiah are nobody, so it doesn't suit them. Why should they spend money? So I had to do most of the work for them. That is why I went to the forensic doctors. That is why I went to best forensic expert in India and abroad and gave them the report. Look, you can fool few people for some time, but you cannot fool everybody all the time. Yes. Our time has come. So when I have started speaking, people are using their intellect. They have changed their narrative. They are not believing the media. They are not believing the authorities. They are putting their own common sense and raising questions. Yes. Like how I was raising questions.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Ma'am, what I want to know is what is the latest which is happening now? You've had the complete journey with these guys. You have the black and white in front of you. Where do we stand with Jiah's case technically?
Well, I'm repeating. I just told you that technically the trial is on.
Right.
And due to COVID, the trial has been delayed. It was date after date. But my lawyers attend. And, there are travel restrictions. So CBI is actually asking for those evidences from Maharashtra court, which police have submitted, and police refused to give it to CBI. So you see, in Maharashtra, CBI has not much say. So that is why CBI was quite reluctant in the very beginning to take my case, where a judge was very adamant that how is it possible that such an agency is making such a big fuss and making an excuse that they don't have people. If you don't have people, it is 1 some billion population. Go and pick up experts. You think there are not intellects roaming around? So now the question is, that is why I'm saying the question is money. So now what is happening? Look, even now, like CBI is asking, I'm waiting for the court. What court? My lawyer is saying that CBI is wanting to investigate in two items. But my advocate is asking the court, why? When the full investigation has not been done and sabotaged, CBI should investigate further. Why in two items? And we don't know. We want to see what ligature.
The two items are dupatta and the BlackBerry phone.
And the phones, which has got the GPS location. Because all the call logs and the tower location, everything has been manipulated by police. And so what CBI did when they put the charge sheet, they cut and pasted. Okay, theek hai. You're not giving me, this is what I will do. But I will put the charge. So the case continued. In Sushant Singh's, nothing is done. So you are actually, in Sushant's case, we all are in a limbo.
Yes.
In a limbo and in anxiety and in that, in that hope that something will happen. That hope that something will happen will be only when there is some force of government, some government policy or government leader coming and saying with some guts, that they will look into this and bring the truth out. When Republic was doing that, bringing the truth out, all these things that what has happened with Pitani and all that, Republic had already exposed it.
Yeah.
Would CBI or police do it on their own? They never went after Pitani. They never asked him questions. They never interrogated anyone, not even Riya Chakravarti, who was his girlfriend. They were, in fact, protecting Riya Chakravarti. They were telling Riya Chakravarti to say a depressed story about Sushant. It is Riya Chakravarti who came up with the drug story, and she got caught in her own web.
Exactly.
Because of the some drug facade that she started.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you understand? So she was caught in her own web of lies, like how Surat Pancholi, all the time. His lies are, they are coming out from every hole of his hair. He can't stop lying. But eventually they will fall back flat, face flat on their into their own lies. They are digging their own grave of lies.
That's true. Ma'am, now when we are talking, like, I just wanted to keep an angle on Disha, because as you have been really yourself going out and taking out evidences and giving to CBI, you've been, amazingly active human being. And then a lot of people have been also following you in that regard. Tell me, a lot of people are telling that this whole thing about Sushant, if Disha's case is not solved or they are not looked into, because Disha's case is just brushed away. Her folks probably are of different nature, and we understand them. And but somehow that case has just gone under the mattress, and somehow that is related with Sushant Singh. And what do you have any take on that?
Look, most of the backstory was exposed in media, in Republic and your platform, other platforms, your type platforms, about Disha Salian. What is the most saddest part? That the parents have taken the back seat. You see, in what is judiciary? If you appear, the the people around influence you. What's your agenda? What's your agenda with the criminal? It has happened. Now she won't come back. And now why do you want to bring the criminal to task? But as a mother, if a mother please, if mother says that I want to know why and how my child died. Who pushed her, or why would she drop herself, or what is it? You see, I went to the extent of getting my daughter's pictures, and the accused was acquitted. The accused was released on bail. When the police wanted to arrest him, they got all the evidences, all the text messages and everything, and arrested him. When they wanted to release, they just removed everything from the application, and the judge said, lack of evidence, there is nothing for the judge to hold this boy, so release him. Now once he's released on bail, it is forever, no? Means you have given him an acquittal. And Disha Salians, the parents are not standing. There was no loyal friend. There was nobody. Was she such an orphan? Because there is no one to ask police any questions, so the case is police is not interested. Police brushed it. No one is there to ask. No authority is interested to find out or ask question. Who has gone and filed a case against authorities regarding Disha Salian that we want to know what has happened? Has the case gone to CBI? Sushant's case went. It should automatically go to CBI. But who has gone to High Court also or Supreme Court fighting for Disha Salian? Which lawyer has done that? Who is doing it on pro bono, on the humanitarian ground? Which human rights has gone and asked a question from Supreme Court? Human rights have got a great institute, organization for human rights. So it's a human right responsibility to go and fight for Disha Salian. We want to know such a ambitious and articulated person, talented person, managing such high end actors, celebrities. How come? Why will she drop herself dead? What kind of depression she had? What clinical evidence is there? What proof is there? What has her boyfriend got to say? Did her boyfriend abetted for her to throw herself down 14th floor? Then who is arresting the boyfriend? Catch hold of the boyfriend. Put him behind bars and ask him, interrogate him. Who has done that?
Absolutely.
The boyfriend is free because there is no one. It's a merciless. It's so sad that no one is standing up and nobody is making that noise and going to the court. Or sending some kind of a summon to this boyfriend to come and give answers. If Disha Salian was also in the drug racket, for example, and was trying to protect, why ED or NCB and all are not probing into it? Why Rohan is not being questioned by them?
Very relevant questions, ma'am. And that is such a sad story. And why?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, because no lawyer, nobody is there. A lawyer will only go if there is someone from the family member who is going to. A lawyer can do pro bono, but a family member has to stand by the lawyer.
absolutely.
Right? Which lawyer is going to do it? And I tell you, whosoever will do it will be applauded in my eyes.
Mm.
And when I die, I will tell God also to bless them.
That's really kind. Ma'am, I understand. There is no anchor to these cases. That's what you're trying to. And Jiah has come away, the case with your daughter, because you were anchoring that case from your personal end. So I can understand that there is no such, because either one person or authority or agency or somebody, but as you rightly said, it's a corrupted society we are living in. From top to the toe, everything is corruption. Now, there has to be one thread, red thread, so that somebody can actually take it up to the top, from the low to the top. And that is missing. And now you gave us such a wonderful, practical response. If we as SSRians who are really caring about this boy and Disha and all the nameless cases, we got to put it on action in practicality. We cannot just talk emotions.
Gather the funds, hire a good lawyer, whether he's doing it on pro bono, because the money is used in many fronts. It is to be given to the forensic experts. It has to be given to the criminologist who will come and see the crime scene and make a report and all. So these things, these work I have done. Do you understand me? A fund has to be attested. I can give names of those forensic experts who are carrying that credibility in the courts, in the world courts, international courts, who can be hired and who can be told, please give us. And then somebody has got to go take this report to the court and open the case. Because in my case, the case was shut when I went to the advocate. On your platform, I don't want to mention any of the names. Yeah. When I went first to the advocate, I had the pictures which I got it from police. Today, police is not looking at those pictures and did not attach to the charge sheet to tell the judge what? Oh, we didn't take the pictures. Let me tell you, even the smallest police officer has got a mobile and they take the pictures of the crime scene. The police officer in Jiah's case took hundreds of pictures in his mobile. He, in fact, questions witnesses over there. Okay, how did this injury happen? So, police officer is seeing injury happening. You look at his statement, CBI statement. Did he mention? Did CBI ask? Did you see any injury? Why? Because CBI also does not want to acknowledge the photographs. These are the strategies they play. The method of wherever you find the doubt, the light, that is where they are trying to cover the lid.
Exactly.
Wherever the light is, they are wanting to cover. Now, the light is in the pictures of Sushant Singh, how he brutally he was killed. Has ever CBI or police mentioned anything about the pictures? So the silent game, just be silent. It will die out. My dear officers, silent game. When you are silent, then God speaks. God speaks, universe speaks in volume. The things that you're not talking is that's where the light is. If you're talking about Pitani or about, it may be not Pitani who has killed Sushant. So that is why they are catching him, because they have got to catch somebody. Why do you think they have allowed him to go for marriage? Why do you think they are? I will not trust. I will say that this is all game, just to put a wool in your eyes. They caught Jiah's accused Suraj Pancholi was a game, just to put a wool in public's eyes. And media at that time was making stories about Jiah, making films about Jiah, making their, Star TV, making all that, about Jiah's love story and all that, How idiotic was the move. That move was the most idiotic move. Because they do not even know any fact. They're trying to, distort the facts. And they are making fun of themselves and humiliating themselves in the face of universe. One should be sympathetic towards the deceased. One should respect the deceased who has been killed. They are martyrs. They didn't want to give their life. Their life has been taken. Yeah. One should give respect to them, but not humiliate and make criminals to be like eagle and fly high and give them high positions and make the public feel that they are normal people. If that is normal, then we are all abnormal. So that is the new way of society, to say that these people, criminals, are normal and we are abnormal. Then you and me are abnormal. So this is the new culture of the society. Yeah. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. They are creating their own revolution. They are creating their own acts. Sooner or later, it will axe them.
I'm with you, ma'am. I'm totally with you in this. And ma'am, this is such an important talk that you've just put it in forward, because there's so many relevant thoughts you've expressed to not just one authority, but even to the loved ones, even to the people, because there is no judgmental we are passing. We're not passing any judgmentals. We're just saying that let the truth come out. As you said, let the truth be out. Yeah. And then they can continue talking about, investigating the murders, but at least they must not deny that was killings. These are not suicidals. I mean, your daughter, for God's sake. She was happy few hours before. You've mentioned it 100 times to the public. You just met. She was having to go back to London, and she was happy girl. And why would you just, mudsling the person who is no more? It's almost mudslinging when a person is willing to live and he's killed, and you mudsling that person and say that he wanted to take away her life. That is pathetic. That is the most crappiest thing to do to anybody.
Because criminals are control freaks. You have seen top actresses being beaten blue black by the icons of Bollywood. You have seen how humiliating is that, and Bollywood has taken it. You have seen actresses being threatened for death, and being drugged, spiting their drinks, and raping them. Is there any FIR? Is there any FIR? No.
Not at all.
Not at all. So what is it? It is all cherry picking. It suited them, Sheena Bora's case. So they went and dug the grave and got the skull and did the forensic and caught Peter Mukherjee and put him behind bars because it suited them. There must be some agenda behind. Why not Disha Salian and SSR when public is raving so much? And now, earlier the media was doing. Today media is silent. So now they are thinking, oh, in another year media will die. This little voice that is popping up, even that will die out. People will soon, leave Twitter and social media and get back to normal.
Exactly.
And the criminals will fly high. That's the hope. But I swear, I tell you, unless people don't, by raising voice and telling authorities, is not going to make any sense. And COVID is the right example where funds were not even given for vaccination. Whether the government has lack of funds or whether the individual pocket is lacking funds, or that individual does not have that charitable heart. So saving the criminal is fine. I am saying you save them. But let them reflect on the crime that they have done so that they can evolve. Not commit crime again and again. First it was Jiah, then this one, then Disha, then Sushant. It's like a serial killing. So where is it going to end? When it will end in their own children, that's when, is that a wake-up call? I don't think you and me are waiting for criminals to go and kill authorities' children.
I'm with you, ma'am. Very prominent, very, very valid question. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it is a question. There are many officers in police and CBI who are wanting the truth to come out. So that is why do you think inconclusive report, even the report, if CBI had to completely, sabotage this charge sheet, they could have not put that. We are not saying that it is suicide. It is the accused who is saying it's a suicide. Okay? If the accused is saying it's a suicide, then what are you saying?
Yeah. Exactly.
So now we have discovered that, oh my God, CBI for last so many years did not get the evidence. But my question is, CBI, you have all the authority to go to the court and seek it.
Yeah.
Why did CBI not go? Because they knew probably that, the criminals have more power to manage the judiciary, or what? Because coming to BlackBerry, I had appeared in High Court telling High Court that CBI says that they cannot tamper into the phone because the password is not given. So I went with the digital forensic experts report that nothing in the digital world is deleted. So why CBI is not doing? If they don't want, then give it back to me. It's my daughter's property. CBI refused. CBI was opposing me and then refused. Now, why are you opposing me? If you're opposing me, then who you are going to take for prosecution? Who are you prosecuting? I went to High Court. I pleaded High Court to give the case to CBI, and CBI was opposing me. When I am asking CBI why these things are not in your charge sheet, why these evidences are not represented to the court. So I had to go to High Court, I had to go to Supreme Court, and then go back to trial court and submit it. After the big, hiring more lawyers, more faces, because it's the faces. And through the faces, you come to know how much money you are spending.
Yes.
If I hire you and then everyone will know that if I have hired you, you are a very prominent face in the court, and your fees is a skyrocket. So, my dear Sushant's family, they will bleed financially. They are already bleeding with such a big loss, as I am also. But I will not say that I'm bleeding financially, because I don't care about money. I don't care. I have put whatever, I have not counted. Why? It's my child, my daughter. But I will not say that for Disha or Sushant's parents, because each one to their own capacity.
I'm with you.
So I will not blame them.
I'm with you.
Do you understand me? So it is their intellect also, because they don't have that resources. They don't have that deep pockets. So they will be bleeding from all sides. This power game has to end. And this will end only with the voice of every individual. In Jessica Lal's case, in Priyadarshini Mattu's case, so many cases, the criminals were given acquittal. And then what happened? Then some Samaritan did not stop fighting and went and reopened the case. And where those acquitted, the Priyadarshini Mattu's criminal got married, got child, and then what happened? In time, he was caught and he was given life imprisonment.
Yeah.
So we also have on that hope and safe, and that hope and assurance that justice system, it is like a machinery. So the machinery, the fuel needs to be, kept pouring, so that the machinery does not stop.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
So,
Ma'am, yeah, please continue.
so what happens? It's such a vicious game where sometimes the lawyers compromise, as we say that the police is complicit, or CBI officers are complicit, or they are lazy, or they are competent. We make so many excuses and so many, uh, uh, uh,
Statements.
statements about them. But how do you know that they are not being pressurized or threatened by the same criminals? So people, do get scared.
Yes.
People
Ma'am,
are attached
I
to their
have to
family.
break you here because I want to just highlight this thought that you are invoking in people, because I think I'm really, really grateful to you that you are also thinking for those people who are not able to do their job, although you understand the human mentality and you understand that even those people who fail you, we must give our compassion to them and not just blame game them, but understand the whole totality. It's a beautiful point you've raised up. The people who are chasing the justice must understand that everybody has their limitations and they're walking through their limitations. Of course, you are also having limitations, but you have trespassed those limitations. You also not got the ocean of money. You're not, you're doing what the best you can. You're not stopping everywhere. So I think this is a it's extremely beautiful point you raised, and I want people who are hearing you must understand. So here we are not blaming, as you rightly, you're the proof. You've fought for 8 years for your child, your blood and flesh, and you're still favoring, you're still understanding their limitation, and that's hats off to you, ma'am, with full, heart, from my hand on my heart. And so this is a wonderful point, but please continue the one you were saying.
I
Let's go.
think
Yeah.
that if Salyan is our sister or
Yeah.
our daughter, if Sushant is our brother or our son, so you say now, why is your heart going? Of course, my heart is going because I'm seeing injustice. I'm seeing injustice, and I'm seeing the vulnerability of the family, the vulnerability of the officers, many, many things putting together. So we people, we are the voice. So we have got to give them also the strength, because they will also get the strength when they see the movement, when they see, look what people are doing. Just making a move and standing at the door is not going to help. But when we collect, crowd fund it, when we collect, okay, we are raising a voice, here is the money. Is there anybody, some God savior, who will come and give justice, so that we protect others, so that we live peacefully, so that we, in this game, actually, we are not condemning the criminals. We are giving a chance to the criminal also to reform, not to commit more sins. You see, we are stopping him from committing more sins. We are stopping him from having such, such adverse calamity upon himself. By doing this, we are protecting his karma also.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, he can go and commit maybe 50, 60 sins. Such crimes. Keep on killing. Keep on taking. There are serial killers like Ted Bundy and all who have done 50, 60 killings. There are psychopaths who have done it. And what was the eventual outcome? There is no invincibility or some immortality. But then what a humiliating death. And it's not easy to die. So don't give me that excuse or that kind of a thing that Jiah committed suicide. You slap yourself if you say that. You have got to be ashamed of yourself without even knowing the family, without even knowing Jiah, to say something like that, and without even knowing Sushant. People who knew him are complicit with the criminals because they are coward. Like my friend was saying, "Are don't take his name, don't say," because his father is very powerful, and his connections are very high end. So what? Is he playing God?
I'm with you, ma'am. Totally with you. Ma'am, I would just draw back in the regard that you have come out with some very valid points. You also mentioned in our last discussion that governments, as you've mentioned it many times, I want to just say it one more time, that the CBIs, like when when the Entela thing came, how did they
Yeah.
do it? Right?
Immediate orders.
Yeah.
We want the result ASAP. Immediate orders. That even the officers went into the river and got and then what happened? Those digital gadgets were damaged, but they got the information, no?
Exactly.
And people were interrogated. Today, Mansuk's cause of death has been declared that he was murdered, brutally murdered. His pictures were all over flashing. Sushant's pictures and Jiah's pictures were not flashing through police or anyone. They concealed every truth. They were concealing. Wherever anyone who would go and say, yes, we have heard Jiah's accused used to beat us up, they were told to shut up. Don't even mention it. So I was isolated, and I was alone, thinking, they are thinking how long she will fight, how long she will carry on. मेरी बच्ची थी वो, यूनिवर्स ने मुझे दी थी. मैं तो हैरान होती हूँ दिशा सालियन के माँ बाप पर, एक तरह से, पर एक तरह उनकी मजबूरी भी समझती हूँ. उनके पास कहाँ इतना मादा होगा टू लुक इनटू. अरे कोर्ट कचहरी में तो स्टेटमेंट्स तो क्या, पेपर्स निकाल दिए जाते हैं. जब जज के पास में फाइल जाती है, उसमें से रेलेवेंट पेपर्स निकाल दिए जाते हैं. उनके पियोन को 100-200 पकड़ा दो और पेपर निकल जाएगा. तो फिर जज वहां पर क्या, जज डजंट नो. Judge doesn't know who is doing what hera pheri. But eventually judge gets it, because a lot of cases have been cracked. It was the either the intellect of a judge or his, you know, his gut feeling that there is something more than what meets the eye. So it's a आप लोगों को तो अभी सुशांत का कुछ पता ही नहीं चला ऑफिशियली, कुछ आवाज ही नहीं उठी ऑफिशियली. हमारे केस में तो एक तरफ कहते हैं कि द फादर टोल्ड द सन टू डिलीट द ब्लैकबेरी मैसेजेस. Then police changes the statement and says, no, the son deleted it because he was feeling irritated. And the son was dining with Jiah one night before in Marriott Hotel, discussing where she's discussing about her sister arriving next day and the jewelry order, and discussing about the film that she has got, and she's going to be flying to London following Thursday. So she will be leaving for London. Very amicably, very nicely, very friendly, eating at her expense, and next day becomes cold. Why? Because Jiah gave him the money to give it to the jeweler, and he had a change of mind. So there were conversation was going on. That why I never knew about this. I came to know only from the statements. Jiah never told me that because she wanted to give a surprise. All she told me, Mummy, it is Kavi's birthday, her sister's birthday, and she's preparing a surprise for her. So for me, it was just a surprise gift. So I came to know the surprise gift was the jewelry. So he suddenly decided that he wants to just, keep that money for himself. So they had a fight. And that is very logical. And second fight reason was that I have signed 3 films. I want to celebrate with you. You're a boyfriend. You were dining with her. Right? So I'm sure that authorities have asked him this question. So now he twists and says, no, Jiah and mother were having fight. You never said that in your statement before. So now you're trying to fool the audience more. But you are not understanding, Mr. Accused, that you are lying, and your lies are very getting evident each day. So the fight was regarding why you are not happy that I have signed the films, and why you are not giving money to Neelu. You are telling me you're going and meeting Neelu, and Neelu is saying that she's supposed to meet you tomorrow, the next day. So there was a confusion in all that. So she goes to the house. She sees, and he says, she calls the servant, and servant says, oh, tell Jiah is calling. So he says, oh, tell her that I'm with the father, but you're sitting with your boyfriend. And you're telling, and the servant says, no, she was standing at the window and she saw everything. So how can I say that? She's seen it. So he gets that rage and that fury, tells his boyfriend, go and see which direction she's gone. Why? In 1 minute, you're saying that I'm trying to avoid her, right? And we fell off. She was getting behind me because she had a fight with mother. And then you're going after her to find out why you want to find out where she's gone. What's your agenda? Did police find out? Did he follow? Did police find out from Karan Joshi? Did the watchman who directed that she's gone to this direction? There are 14 CCTV. Why did police not take 14 records from the 14 CCTV from his house and up to Jiah's house? There are ISKCON temple have got 4-5 CCTVs on the road. And he stays just next to the ISKCON temple. So if he's crossing that road, it will be seen in that CCTV. If he's crossing that street, there are so many shops that have got CCTV. I'm telling you, there are 14 CCTVs. But the police was not interested because police was told not to look that side, look the other way. So why? Because there is a truth in it. So you've got to understand, my dear, that what questions you're raising, that's the question police have already looked into, and now they want to cover that. And all the other stories that you are hearing are diversions. Catch hold of Riya Chakravarti. Inside, you don't know inside the jail what was happening. She was not interrogated. She must have been given the best of food and some consolation that don't worry, you have to spend 21 days. Because there is a thing that if you spend custody time 21, then in another agency who will come, they cannot take you in the custody. You see, there are all these system. A system has got something within the system, which police is not going to say that we have arrested her for 21 days. Now we cannot arrest her. CBI is not going to say. Who is going to tell you? I am telling you. So imagine what a common man, if he goes and wants to stand as a witness, is so badly interrogated by the police,
Yeah.
that he decides, why did I do this?
Yeah.
Why did I volunteer? I better get out. So what I'm saying, in sabotaging evidences, there is a truth. In delaying the trial, there is a truth. And the truth is exactly what your gut says.
I'm with you, ma'am. I'm with you. And I'm totally so grateful to you that
Yeah.
I have, it's so, because the fact is that you are now sharing the truth of the system, how the system is working. It is your independent case. You're not just talking stories here. You're not a YouTuber. It's happened to your own flesh, kith and kin, for God's sake. So this is a beautiful eye opener for public. As you said, this is their gut feeling, and now they have to put it on action. If they want to have some kind of saviorness, they must support you. They must support Sushant Singh's case in terms of going out and telling people that, okay, we're going to hire somebody and we're going to make sure that the files are opened the way they're supposed to.
Look, Republic Channel, as you can see, the TRP went very high. The entire world was watching and hooked on it. And they have exposed, they called best of the experts, the best of the forensic experts, everyone, the officials and everything, and opened the entire system. They laid it in front. An entire proofs that Disha Salian and Sushant Singh could have not taken their life. Right? What did authority do in Disha Salian's case? Somebody who has fallen from 14th floor. Where is the crime scene marked? Where is the forensic collected? Where are the pictures of the body, in what condition and how it was lying? Nothing, nothing, nothing. Where is the reconstruction? I am saying make a same weight model and throw it down on the floor from 14th floor and see what happens. You reconstruct it and see. And do same for Jiah and do same for Sushant. These authorities, we don't need to train them. We don't need to tell them what to do. They know. You see, if you go to a doctor, you have to give money for the doctor to diagnose you and to do what the doctor needs to do. So these lawyers, they know exactly what questions to be asked and what evidences to be collected. And if they are not getting it in writing, then go through the court. If you're not getting through the court, that means there is something serious. Like I am not getting anything through the court. So there is something very serious. So the pressure is on CBI. So why are you not asking? You need to ask the court. Why is CBI not going to Supreme Court and saying it has been almost a year and we have not got any evidences from the police? Let Supreme Court give order to Maharashtra. Why? Who is stopping? So I think Sushant has a family lawyer, and I did hear that he's putting pressure on pressing on charge sheet. And then soon probably he might go to High Court or Supreme Court saying that, it is they need to expedite,
Mm. Mm.
because you have got to speed it up.
Yes. Yes.
We
But the,
know that there are billions of people in India, but there are not billions of Sushant and Jiah Khan and Disha Salian.
no.
Everyone is your unique in their own way. So the saddest part is that authorities are not moving their finger. They
That's
are
true.
not, and I will not say they are. They don't want to. They want to.
Mm.
So there are certain hindrances. So what are those hindrances? The hindrances can be, they can't say lack of people, lack of experts. There are millions of experts in the world. Yes, they can say lack of order from the central government, right?
Mm.
Or hurdles from central government, because CBI is central government, or lack of funds. So these are the two things that they can come up with.
Ma'am, one question is coming up when you're talking is like, if you have the answer for that, is CBI, the Central Bureau Investigation, is he also dependent on orders from uh, direct? Mm.
It is a body governed by central government. When the central government wanted Chidambaram and others to be arrested overnight, so those funds are kept for those reasons. Sushant, like Antalya case was like a terrorist case, a national threat, or a threat to a great business personality. But Sushant and Disha and Jiah, it's not interest of central government. High Court has given the order. Now what? Order तो मिल गया है, अब
Mm.
पैसा कहाँ से आएगा?
I understand. I understand.
Who will sanction that money? Public money.
Mm.
Mr. Ambani is a great taxpayer.
Mm.
Sushant was also a taxpayer. Jiah was a taxpayer.
Mm.
Disha was a taxpayer. So count their taxes. If you're a taxpayer and this is how you're treated, the prisons are filled with all filthy people, in a sense, like somebody who does not even need to be in the prison. But why? When such crimes have happened and the criminals are roaming free, now Pitani has been given bail for marriage. Who's stopping you from getting married? Yeah, carry on. Because he's not found guilty.
Yeah.
So he will be given a chance to live his life. Jia's accused has not been found guilty. He has denied being guilty of torturing her, being guilty of aborting the baby, being not guilty of anything. He's saying, I'm not guilty of anything. So what he did is absolutely fine. Fine for the system, fine for the Bollywood icons, and being human. It's fine for them. In fact, they made him a hero. That's the kind of candidates they want, because then they can use him as a weapon. He's a walking weapon.
Very true. Ma'am, I think you have been extremely kind of vibrant and have articulated to the core. And I hope people can recognize the play behind the scenes. You've
I
actually come out and,
tap the
spoken.
door of human rights. That human right can appoint a lawyer, and human right can say, on human grounds, we want to know that these two human beings have been their life has been taken on what basis.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
You understand me?
Mm.
So there is a body called CBC. who acts above CBI, they should question what's happening. So just making remarks on social media and all this is it will go on and it will die out its own death. But the real thing is to take an action, to form a fund, and you put Sushant Singh and Disha's Justice Fund.
Fantastic, ma'am. I really appreciate, and I think you've given the extremely valid, answers to people who are really, really interested to actually do something, not just about talking and writing some, statements in the Facebook. That's not
Yes.
what is going to help.
And condemning that, what? No point.
Yeah.
Because judiciary is a machinery. It works. Any good lawyer will appear and talk. They will listen. You need to bring the evidence forward. You need to bring, whether it is circumstantial or whatever, but evidence has to be forwarded.
I'm with you. Ma'am, you just let me know now. You are now waiting for your case to move on, and you're it's you said that wherever it is now, according to because you're never going to end fighting, and I'm sure SSRians and all the other who are facing, because I see that you are a greatest anchor for all the cases. At the same time, Sushant himself has been a greatest anchor for calling for justice and truth, and we SSRians are following that energy. Now, for me to ask you this question is basically that, not from the emotional perspective, from your intellectual side, what do you see our justice, as you've mentioned it openly, what they're all about? You still believe that justice can prevail?
Look, word justice is a tall haul, long haul. I am saying, let the machine move. Don't let it stand. Right now, it is on a standstill, and it will. If it is not going to have a movement, it will. If it is not going to move, then it will definitely die out. So you have to let the wheels move, wheel of justice to move, and that needs fuel.
Yeah.
You understand my point? Government funds are kept for bigger reasons. They may say, oh, Rabia is bakwas kar rahi hai, what rubbish and ye wo na. I am not doing any bakwas. They say that the enemy is our enemy also. No, I'm sorry, he's not your enemy. In fact, on the contrary, you're sitting in an enemy's boat. Because enemies have got deep pockets. So we have got, a lawyer will move if a lawyer gets his fees. Because that is the base that he's living on.
I'm with you.
There is no Samaritans. Only sharks can eat, they don't attack their own kind. But the thing is that we have to have somebody, whether it is Mr. Advocate Vikas, or whether somebody more prominent face, higher. That's what, if anybody thinks. I am not pointing out that XYZ. I am saying whatever it is, there is a big funds that needs to go to open Disha Salian's case.
Absolutely.
To open Sushant's case. And how any private this thing has to be, one has to hire the forensic experts, has to make a report, prepare the case. The lawyer can prepare the case and take it, that this is the expert's opinion, and that is the expert's opinion, and these are the questions that we want the authorities to answer. Then the police has to come to the court and answer those questions.
Absolutely. I'm with you, ma'am. Totally.
Yeah. So I think,
Yeah.
is there anything that
I think, ma'am, for today, ma'am, you've really, I think there's a lot of food to think. You've given lots of, a lot of people are actually saying, I'm not going to take up your time for that. I'm going to read them later on. But there are a lot of people who are really, really thanking you for actually being an eye opener and speaking your heart with so much of facts and making so much sense. A lot of people are
Okay.
thanking
I am
you.
saying, if you go and ask a question from police, will they answer you? No. But if the court will ask them, they will have to give in writing.
Yes. Yes.
Who is asking? So, Disha Salian, you forget until unless the authorities are not asked question by the court.
I'm with you.
So, who is the Samaritan?
Got your point, ma'am. Absolutely got your point. Fantastic. I would just
a jungle. So you have got to be fearless. And if you are coward, then please put a gravestone on the case.
with you, ma'am.
And then don't make a noise in hollow sky.
Absolutely, ma'am. Ma'am, lots of regards and respects to you. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to be here. Lots of love to you. Take care. Thank you. This was, I just don't have name for Ma'am Rabia. She's an amazing human being. She's such a fighter. We all SSRians get inspiration from such a human being who is not stopping, who is continuing her journey of fight for justice and truth. And she avails herself for every count. If ever I call her up, she absolutely amazing. She says, I'm going to go out and speak my mind. Because until we do not put things in actions, nothing will move. As she said, the wheels of justice must move through the actions. And if we as SSRians can create a kind of a movement, not digital, but also movement, so we can hire some kind of, advocates who are willing to put their time and are willing to put their resources to figure this out so that they have some valid questions to the court and court must answer. Because there's a lot of loopholes in these cases. I'm sure you people understand this. And so we need to not just simply be digitally active. We need to actually get going in practical terms. And practical terms is calling for the courts, raising questions to the courts, the agencies and authorities, whatever they are doing, but it's the court finally will raise the questions and answer the questions. Where is the truth behind the mysterious deaths of these people? Because we don't have any proofs today in our hands. All the proofs have been sabotaged. Everything we had is somewhere in the air. And for those things we need, because court needs proofs, evidences. Who will get these evidences? From where do we find these evidences? Who will fight for these cases? We can raise our voices, but who will do the things in actuality, in practicality, is the question I raised to you, the SSRians, the army that Sushant has created through his soulful being and his pure self. I raise these questions to you, SSRians. Who will act and go out for solving these cases? Disha case, Sushant Singh Rajput's case, Jiah Khan's case, and all the other nameless cases that has been put to rest in the hope that we will tire, we SSRians will get tired, and we will go back to the normal. Is that what we want? This is the question put to you by me, Sania Raj, your host, coming back again sometime in next week. Jai Hind. Namaskar.